Alright, welcome everyone to the What Do I Know podcast. Hopefully you all know the spiel. I'll go into it again. We're just here to talk about stuff as of now, but eventually we'll delve into the perspectives of others and start figuring out morals, frameworks, and principles. But as of now, I want to talk about something very, very specific. Understanding the consequences of your actions. Over the past few videos, y'all have seen me work on just figuring out stuff for myself and breaking the habit of running away from your future. What do I mean by that? I think karma's real, and I think everything happens for a reason. I think the universe, God, Buddha, whatever higher power, whatever thing you want to believe in, because everyone has a God, or everyone has the supreme being, or something that they worship. Whether it's some people it's women, some people it's alcohol, some people it's money, some people it's God, some people it's Buddha, some people it's the universe. However you want to classify the thing everyone knows exists but doesn't understand how to comprehend, because I don't understand how to comprehend it. It's beyond human comprehension because we are part of it. However you want to label that thing, that being, that energy, that vibration, the universe, us, sends us as individuals things, experiences, forks in the road where we have the free will to choose whether to walk it or not. And I, over the past few days, keep choosing not to walk the path before me. Why is that? At least for me personally. It's 8:53 p.m. on on January 8th, 2024. It is not 2024. It is January 8th, 2025 at 8:53 p.m. And what have the choices the forks in the road that lay before me? And this goes for anyone. Ask this question. What forks in the road lay before me? For some people, it could be studying. For some people, it could be not going to that party. For some people, it could be sitting down and reading that book. For some people, it could be going out and just going to talk to people. For some people, it could just be going to that new city, going on that vacation, going to that new job, starting that thing you always want to do, starting that habit, going to learn, whatever it may be. Everyone will always have those choices to make. And I want to figure out for myself and for anyone who else is working on this and struggling with this and coming to realize this. How do we make the right choice? How do I make sure I understand why I make the bad choices, the bad path, and how to correct back onto the positive path, the path that I want to go on? I don't know. That's what I'm here to talk about. Figure it out with y'all. Because as of now, I don't know. As of now, I want to find someone I can throw ideas off of and have like a proper podcast with, but I'm going to rock it alone, solo for now. Eventually I'll get to hopefully Dr. Huberman type of podcast mixed with Chris Williams podcast mixed with Joe Rogan podcasts. But I'm just going to be me and see where this road takes me. So how do I figure out? Just take I for me or whatever you want to use. But once again, all I do is talk about what I'm working on, my thought process, my perspective, because this whole thing is about perspective, frameworks, and principles. Right now, I got no one else to talk about those, so we're just going to talk about mine. So, figuring out what it comes down to, from my understanding, of Well, I want to experience this side of life, whatever it may be. Ambitions, goals, dreams, whatever your higher power is calling for you. Whatever. Let me give you this. Pause the video. Close it out if you want. After you hear this question, go get a piece of paper and just sit on it until you have an answer. Ready? What would you do if you could not fail? Think on that. Go write that down. Honestly, pause the video. Go write that down. Don't come back till you have an answer. Because what that will allow you to figure out is what you want to experience and perceive in this life. And then, life should be about making choices towards that experience and perspective. Just a fair warning, though, those choices aren't going to be easy. There's not going to be certainty. As I discussed earlier, my little post-it note right here on my desk of chaos, there are only two guarantees in life. One is death, and the other is the conscious way you view yourself. Well, actually, no, that doesn't stand now that I think about it, because a guarantee is certain. Let's actually delve into that. So you can guarantee your conscious view of yourself. Actually, yeah, you can, because you can choose how you view yourself if you give it enough attention, focus, and energy. I'm going to run with that. So, you figured out what you want to do. Now, the universe is going to give you forks in the road. Different choices to make. For me, I have succumbed to scrolling once again. Now, what do I mean by fork in the road? I could study sales, get better at what I failed to do. Get better at what I've failed to do, and hone the skills I have to make money online. Or I could run from that. Go get a 9-to-5 job, something entry level, something that doesn't really require a whole lot of skill. Start over. Or I could run from all of that hard decision making, the fear of the unknown, the fear of not being able to accomplish anything, not being good enough to run and to let it get worse and not to face it. And that's what I chose mainly today. For a good portion. I chose to run and let things get worse. I chose to go down a certain path, a certain fork in the road. I feel like this will be my last chance to really dictate where I go, which path I walk. What do I mean by that? Well, I think at least. I don't know. I have no way to prove it. This is just from some random 20-year-old kid, his perspective and experiences. But whenever you're meant to make a really important choice, a really defining moment, when the universe gives you a fork in the road, a defining choice which way to walk, you'll get a little ring in your ear, a little whisper, and all of a sudden the thought that the highest version of you is telling you. You'll hear a high-pitched ring, something that's not tinnitus, something that's shrill but harmonious, soothing but alarming. And then you'll have a thought right after you become aware of that noise. And that thought is the action you should take. I'm not for sure. There it is. I'm not for sure if it's actually real or not. But I think your gut, your intuition, the thing I'm talking about, it's the same thing. It's your higher self, the quantum version of the dream you just wrote out. if you couldn't fail. That version of you reaching back. That version of you calling out. Because that's the vibrational state that you desire subconsciously. And yet, you can make a choice whether to attract that, become that vibrational state, to attract that thing you wrote out whenever you answered, what would you do if you could not fail? That answer you wrote out as a vibrational state. And once you become that, you will attract it. Only way to become that is to go through the hard choices in life. Which, at the end of the day, as Alex Hormozy said, the hard choices are the easy choices in the long run. And the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. But to know, as my grandmother and grandfather always told me, to know and not yet do is to not yet know. So, I don't know anything. I won't know anything until I start doing something. So how do you make the right choices? Because it seems like I struggle with action. Why do I struggle with action now? Because I've been trained myself to be distracted, give myself the excuse of ADHD, and be able to say, oh, well, I'll do it later. Comes back to the same video I made last night. I don't wanna. What am I supposed to say whenever I don't wanna? I don't wanna stay the same. I wanna become the man that achieves my ambitions and goals. This is just the price. Simple as that. Like today, I stayed up really, really late last night. I got up around 8. I procrastinated for 25 minutes to get into that shower and take a cold shower. And this shower was brutal. It was 17 degrees outside when I took that shower. That water, within like a minute, I lost the feeling in my feet. Normally it's only my chest I lose feeling in after a bit. So after 30 minutes of 25 minutes of procrastination, I took like a 2, maybe 3 minute shower. Most likely like 2 and some change. And yet I made a choice there. And today, I sat down and did some sales training. And I got distracted multiple times, but then I course corrected multiple times. But then I got distracted again by a woman. I must control the urges of the body. I'm gonna be authentic, y'all. Not hide nothing. And I'm gonna laugh at it. And people are probably gonna laugh at me. But every single person is gonna resonate with this. I wanted to be seen and heard. And in a sense experienced. Now, before y'all's imaginations go wild, what do I mean by experienced? To have someone explore my perspective, to experience the moment presently with one another. My wonderful, wonderful ex, Gabriella, she set the standards very, very high. And I know I won't find the type of woman I'm looking for till I become the type of man who will attract that woman. Same thing with friends. Until I make up my mind on what path I'm going to choose, I ain't gonna have anything of what I desire or what I fear. I'm in this weird limbo of both because I'm teetering on the edge of what path to walk on. And I have like 2 more days to choose if I'm lucky. That's generous, man. That's real generous of you to give yourself that much time. Because nothing's ever promised. This could be the last time I breathe, the last time I go to sleep, the last time I ever wake up. That's something that I think I need to work on. Realizing how fickle everything is, and do I really want to spend my time scrolling or watching adult content or watching motion pictures or anime or wasting time that I have on things that I'm not going to remember? That's not building me. So then why do I choose to waste time on things that don't bring me towards my ambitions, my goals, my dreams? Why do I choose to waste time that I don't even know how much I have? Same goes for all you out there, whoever is watching, even if it's just me in the future. I'm talking to basically whoever's in the audience. I'm assuming it's just going to be me in the future. Hopefully there's more than one person who ever sees this video, but who knows what the universe holds for me. So why do I make that choice? To assume. Here's another very wise thing my grandparents, my Cooney and my grandma, told me. I love Cooney and I love grandma. They're what the reason why I'm a city boy raised in the country. But my grandfather told me, never assume, because you make an ass out of you and me. Little play in the words. So why do I make the assumption that I have all the time in the world? How do I get that perspective? Because I'm young. People say you have your whole life ahead of you. Because I haven't really thought about it too much. Because it's scary, terrifying. To realize the actions I take right now over this next decade will dictate the next 3/4 of my life. That concept is terrifying. The seemingly overwhelming aspect of the magnitude of my single choices seems overwhelming and complex and hard to think about, hard to face. But if you do face them now, doesn't that make you stronger? It makes you harder and increases your probability of going down the road you want. I think I've talked about this before, but I view life like a quantum tree. Now, I'm no quantum mechanics expert. I don't know anything about quantum mechanics. I don't even understand Schrodinger's equation. I read a little bit in high school, but that's it. Because I didn't want to, what was it? I didn't want to learn about American history, so I just kind of sat there in the corner reading Schrodinger's equations for like maybe 2-3 classes. So I don't know much. But what do I mean by a quantum tree? Once again, the tree aspect comes in because you can't choose where your seed is planted or what tree you are. What do I mean by that? You can't choose your family. You can't choose where you grow up. You can't choose your genetics. You can't choose your skin color, your intelligence, or your skills, or your gifts that you're born with. You can choose your skills to a point. So you're like a tree. You can't choose where you're planted. You can't choose when you're planted or who you're planted by. But here's the quantum aspect. You can choose how high you grow. You can choose how far your branches reach. And you can choose what branches live or die. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can choose how high your ambitions go. You can choose how much impact you have on this world. And you can choose which paths of life you'll cut off and let go. What possibilities you'll cut off and let go to increase the probability of others. For example, my first ever sales job was back when I was 17. Yeah. Because it was Dairy Queen for a year and a quarter. And then it was Allwyn & Sons. And then that December, I worked at a company called Blue Greens Vacations over in Bass Pro, in a kiosk out in the Bass Pro of Peoria, Illinois, where I'm from, outside the bowling alley. That was my first ever sales job, 2 and some change years ago. Now, why do I bring that up? Because I knew sales is a fundamental skill of business, entrepreneurship, and it's a useful skill to have, and it'd be setting me up to become a millionaire and allow me to get the funds to actually allocate to the concepts, the vision I have in my mind. It'd give me that fundamental skill. I never thought I'd be able to get into an apartment in a skyscraper at 20 years. I turned 20 in a skyscraper downtown Chicago. Because of my same choices, though, I haven't made enough money to actually afford this place. I'm behind on rent because of my same choices. So because of one seed I planted 2 years ago, got me to live downtown in Chicago. But because of another seed that was planted much earlier, and that I kept watering, mind you, or branch, we can say. I kept sending nutrients to the branch for the analogy's sake. I haven't been able to make enough money to afford this place yet. So why is that important? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that the universe will send you choices. And wherever your attention goes, your energy will flow. Where your energy flows, that probability will grow. I just made that up. But I like it. I'm going to rock with it. So, quantum tree, right? Let's say, for example, let's just use my situation, right? I have no job currently. So I have a few opportunities, but the two big ones are, 1, go get a 9 to 5, make rent somehow. Just go work at some basic job, clock in, clock out, and hope you can pay this off. Then probably move back in with my mom. That's one probability. Another probability is get a sales job online, make money that way. Show that even though Cameron, my best friend, loves me and cares for me, and I do the same for him as a brother, he told me sales isn't for me. He also told me that I needed to work on my tonality and objection handling, and as long as I overcome that, he knows I'm a killer. I just gotta be able to talk to everyone like I'm talking to y'all right now, as a friend, and stop putting this unknown pressure on me. Gotta relax and de-stress, basically. I could go back and try it one more time. Full send it one more time before I really concede on the sales dream. So, now, I have those two probabilities before me. Wherever my attention flows, energy will go. And whether it's going to a 9 to 5 or continuing with sales, whichever one I give more attention to, that thing will grow. And whichever one I give more energy to is what I'll become. So where have I been putting my energy recently? Towards the 9 to 5. But truthfully, towards neither. Truthfully, what I've been doing is putting it towards distractions. My energy, my focus, my attention has been going towards things that keep me where I'm at and not move me towards anything. It just keeps me in this state of chaos, uncertainty, fear, and stress, which isn't good for me, which isn't healthy for me, which isn't helping me at all. So now how do I change that? By making a choice. So I guess my real question is, how do I make choices? How do I take action? Give me a second to think. Because I know this sounds so easy, but like, what sets David Goggins apart from everyone else? The choices he made. The way he chooses to put his attention. I've seen this a lot on the internet. I've seen a lot of millionaires say this. It's really easy to make $1 million. It's really hard to become the person who can make it. Or attract it, better put. It's easy to make it's easy to make $1 million. It's very hard to become the person who can attract $1 million. To make $1 million, you must attract $1 million. And the work is being. So how do you be? How do you choose to become? How do you choose to act? You must focus on what you want to become. Ask yourself, is this what he, she, whatever you identify as, I don't care. However you see your future self, how does that person, that being, respond to the situation before you? For example, tomorrow, it's going to be kind of brutal. Let me go grab my phone. I want to check the weather. Because my name's Tyler Joseph Friends. No matter how I feel, I do what I need to do to accomplish my goals. Tomorrow, let's see what the weather's going to be like. Tomorrow, no matter how cold it is outside, no matter how freezing it is in that shower, no matter how little I can feel while in the shower, I'm going to take 5 minutes because that's what I would do. That's what the man who has accomplished everything I envision would do. 13 degrees is what 6 a.m. will be. Right now it's 18 degrees. So I'm going to take a 5-minute cold shower tomorrow in 13-degree weather. Well, with 13-degree weather outside this building. Now, why do I bring that up? Because that's a choice. That is an action that I've set, that I've written down with that prompt that I've mentioned earlier, that basically, here, what would you do if you couldn't fail? How would that person act right now? What would that person do? I, for a fact, know I have the information to become successful, to get out of this situation, but I haven't been being the person who can get out of the situation, who utilizes the knowledge, who actually becomes and attracts. I haven't been acting, so I have not being or become or be. I haven't been vibrating to being the entity, the vibration, the energy that attracts what I desire. So whenever you come in contact with every single choice, every single action, I'm speaking to myself and for whoever this resonates with. Whenever you come into every single action you take, ask yourself, is this what he, she, they, whatever you identify, I don't care. You're crazy. Everyone's crazy. No one's normal. Get over it. Suck it up. Use the analogy. Understand what I'm trying to say. If you got a head on your shoulders, you aren't going to get offended by me saying, oh, he or she, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you, in the future, the version of you that you wrote down, the version of you who's done every single thing that you want to do if you couldn't fail, that version of you, what would they do right now? What would they do tomorrow? What would they do first thing in the morning? What would they do after that? What would they do after that? Just ask yourself, day to day, moment by moment, within every breath, what would he, what would she, what would that person do? What would the version of me who's accomplished everything I've desired, what would they do right now? That's how I will choose. That's how I will act. Because I keep looking, I keep trying to find this magical solution that makes the hard choices easier to make, that makes it less of a battle to choose the actions, to make the costs less, so it doesn't hurt as much. It's not as challenging, it's not as difficult, it's not as strenuous, it's not as annoying, it's not as a burden as it is. Granted, that is some of my framework, my perspective, and my choice of to analyze the situation and internalize it. But I keep looking to all these successful people for that. But it comes down to just, it ain't ever gonna be easy. It's never, ever, ever going to be easy. I just gotta accept that. It's never going to be easy to make these choices. Obviously, once I build a habit around it, that's going to change. But what do I mean by that? The cost of the action, the cost of the dread, well, not the dread, the cost of the action will always be there. The cost of procrastination will always be there. The thought of procrastination will always be there. The thought of dread, the cost of dread will always be there. The cost of negativity, the thought of negativity will always be there. Those things will never go away. There isn't some magical thought process, mindset, framework, or thing you can do to make it easier. You just gotta do it. That's where grit comes in. I didn't really understand it till now. It's never gonna be easy. It's never gonna be fun. What makes it fun, though, is, okay, let me rephrase that. It's never gonna be fun in the moment. It's gonna be fun overcoming it. So, for example, for me, with that cold shower, I wake up at 6. So this is, okay, let's say, how do I want to explain this? Not bar graph, what's a charty chart thing? Do I have a blank page in here somewhere? Oh boy. There we are. Okay. So, time during action. And then this would be difficulty of action. So for me, at least, waking up in the morning starts right here. Then I go to the shower, I get in the shower, I turn on the shower, I get used to the shower, then I get out of the shower. So this would be wake up, get in, shower, turn on, acclimate. Form in, shower off. I'm a visual guy and an audio guy. So if I can have something, because I got ADHD, so my brain kind of like is going three things at once. So if I can see something while I listen to something, it makes my brain focus more. That's why I did this. All right, ignore my handwriting, ignore my spelling. Just laugh at it. It's okay. So basically, little bar graphs to explain what I mean. This is time of actions. This is difficulty of action. So for me, I wake up at 6 a.m. That's not easy. Easy is down here. This right here is like super, super easy. It's not easy, but it's not hard. But getting into the shower makes it a little harder. Turning on the water, that's really hard. But getting used to the water, that's really, really hard. But once I get used to it, the next 4 minutes aren't that bad. And then all of a sudden I'm done and over with. And once I'm right here, I feel 1,000 times better than I did waking up. I feel 1,000 times better than sleeping in. I feel 1,000 times better because I started here. This is how I start my day. I start my day overcoming this right here. Now, what is this, if anyone's listening to this on audio? I don't know how you listen to this on audio. It's on YouTube as of now, but I'll figure it out how to post it on Spotify, I guess. But I want to try and put, like, not the camera, the visual. Maybe I should make a slideshow. I don't know. I kind of wing this off. But anyone who's listening to this audio or not paying attention, basically there's a bar graph. Not a bar graph, sorry. There's a graph. Going up is levels of difficulty, 1 through 10. And then on the bottom is time. Let's say 10 minutes of time, right? So first wake up. Me, I wake up at 6 a.m. from here on out. That's what I've been intending to do. So I wake up at 6 a.m. Let's give that like a 4 difficulty. So I start my day at 4. Then getting out of a nice, warm, cozy bed into a cold, empty shower without my water on. Let's say that's a 6. Turning on my water, that's a 9. Staying in that water is a 10. But after I hit that 10 of that freezing cold water, I get used to it. I get used to being at a 10 difficulty. At the start of my day, within 2 minutes of my day, I'm at a 10 difficulty. And then after I get used to it, it goes down to 2, or it goes down to like 8, then 6, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then bang. My timer goes off and I'm out of the shower. Now I'm at 0. Just came from the most difficult thing I could make myself do. Feeling awesome. Already did something really hard and overcame it because I chose. Now what does that do for me? That sets me up for a day of making my life harder so the things life throws at me is easier. Now, I gotta start transferring that over to studying sales, to figuring out how I'm gonna get out of the situation. Every waking moment should be spent on figuring that out, not running away from it. Once I focus on putting every ounce of attention, effort, and focus into the things that will get me to the next level, I will see growth that I cannot even comprehend. It's just giving over this mental hurdle as what has been holding me back. What's been holding everyone else back? I'd say you have the knowledge to change. It's just choosing to change. The choice is going to be hard. It's going to be painful. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to enjoy it in the moment. You're not going to enjoy it for a while. You're only going to enjoy it after you either get used to it or you overcome it. No, you're only going to enjoy it when you get used to it. When you get used to it, you've gotten stronger. When you've gotten stronger, it's not a big deal anymore. Instead of, for me, once I get used to it, my cold shower being at a 10 turns into like a 6. Because I got stronger. Not because it got easier. Maybe the temperature changes, yeah, but at the end of the day, it didn't get easier, I got stronger. So I have to make the choice to get stronger or to stay as I am. I choose to get stronger every day. What was the quote? I heard this from Jordan Peterson. Those who have swords and know how to use them, but choose to keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. What does that mean? To have the strength to overcome any obstacle. To have, in this example, in the one with the swords, to be capable of violence, to be dangerous, but have the control not to, will allow you to inherit the world. Now, what do I mean by this? How can I make it make sense to everyday people, everyone who listens to this? Those who make hard choices, that brings them closer and grows their strength. Those who make hard choices, that brings them closer to their goals. Those who make hard choices that they don't want to make but know are good for them, consistently with enough time, will be given everything they desire. That's the price you have to pay. It's the pain, the suffering, the hardships, the stress, the worry, the anxiety, the fear, the unknown, the uncertainty, the confusion, the loss, the loneliness, the sorrow, the scars, the empty stomachs, the lonely bed, the silent phone. That's the cost for the dreams, at least I have before me. The ambition, the vision I have before me. And it's something I've been running from for over a year now. That cost. I need to change that expectation. Which would be worse? Knowing that I didn't try on that vision, that dream, or knowing I didn't even try. Knowing that I had the potential but chose not to use it. Once again, will I make that choice a third time in a row? I did it once with sports. I've done it once with sales already. Will I make the same choice again? I've done it twice with sales. Will I make the same choice again of not giving it my all? No. Well, how do I guarantee that? How do you build faith in yourself? How do you build trust in yourself? You set something that you can... No. You set something that you can do, that you can guarantee yourself, that you have the power to do. For me, at least, I could say, tomorrow I won't scroll on anything. I'm just going to start with that. I'm not going to scroll on anything. I can do whatever I want, whatever my attention goes. I'm going to hone it, I'm going to focus it, but I'm going to mess up. Everyone's going to mess up. My problem growing up, one of many, was I had a really big ego. I have a really big ego. Still. I'm working on it. So I have a big ego. And I also don't trust myself to do the things I say I'm going to do. So how do I change those two things? Well, that's partially this podcast, so I realize how little I know, which is why I want to talk to people who know stuff, because I don't know stuff. I just am trying to figure this out like everyone else is, and making videos for myself, that hopefully helps someone. Yeah. I hope this helps someone. This helped me a lot, honestly. just to build trust in yourself. I'm going to do this. Nah, I need to stop saying I'm going to try. As well as it. I think it was Kung Fu Panda, Master Oogway, if I recall correctly, the awesome turtle. There is no try, there is only do and do not. The reason I bring that up is because I had the thought, I'm going to try not to scroll. Well, that's not going to result the outcomes I desire. Not by a long shot. The outcomes I desire are going to get brought to me, attracted to me through certain actions that I have already listed out multiple times and I know of already. The actions that are going to bring me the outcomes I don't want are the ones I have been taking most of the time, throughout the day, throughout this past week, throughout all of my life so far. So when are you going to change? When are you going to decide enough is enough? When are you going to stop looking for motivation and start using discipline? When are you going to start paying the price for your dreams? It's going to cost you a lot. It's going to cost you more than you can bear. That's why you have to be able to bear more than you can right now. And that's the whole point of getting stronger. You can't afford your dreams right now. You can't bear that burden as you are right now. So you gotta start working on yourself to be able to bear that burden. That's what I'm working on right now. I gotta go in a shower when it's below 12, when it's about 13 degrees outside. Outside this window, it's 18 degrees Fahrenheit right now. When I wake up, it's going to be even colder, and I'm going to have to get into a shower for 5 minutes and stand there and let the water run over me, and then I do calisthenics to warm my body up. I don't even put clothes on because I have to let my body warm up, because that's the hardest thing I can do in the morning right when I wake up, and that's going to make me stronger to become the type of man who can achieve my dreams, who can become the type of man who creates the vision that I have in my mind for this world. And you can do the same thing, because I'm just some random kid who hasn't accomplished anything, who has nothing behind him, who has no big feats, who has no big accomplishments. All he has is a big ego, a big vision, and a brain that lets him think. I have nothing that anyone else watching this doesn't have. Besides, I make a choice. Besides, choosing which path I want to walk, given the forks in the road the universe gives me. I'm done holding myself back. I'm done choosing the path of self-destruction. Are you?